Hey everyone, in this video we are going to be correcting sentence 3, 4, and 5 under set 2. Sentence 3 says, on our camping trip to Wash, there were trails to hike, lakes to kayak, and mountains to climb. In this sentence we're going to be adding some commas. We also need to make sure we're using the right word, and we have an abbreviation error to address. Let's begin with our commas. So the first comma that I want to talk to you about is the comma that we'll add for our introductory phrase. Now, if I read this sentence again, you're most likely going to hear some pauses, and pauses typically indicate where commas belong. Listen. On our camping trip to Wash, there were trails to hike, lakes to kayak, and mountains to climb. You most likely heard a pause after the word wash because that phrase introduces our sentence. So I'm going to put my comma after the word wash. Next in this sentence, I've also listed several items that I like to do there. So I'm going to add commas to separate those items in the list. So I'm going to add a comma after hike, a comma after kayak. And that would add my commas. Next, I need to make sure I'm using the right word. So in this sentence, I've used the word there that shows ownership. I don't own the word were, and so I know that I've used the wrong form of the word there. So I'm going to change this word there to T-H-E-R-E, and that's my using the right word error. And lastly, I also need to fix my abbreviation. So in this sentence, I've simply abbreviated the state of Washington as WASH. I don't want to do that because it doesn't sound very formal. So I'm going to replace the word wash with the full spelling Washington. I'm going to write it below the word though, otherwise I'm going to run out of room. And that would fix my abbreviation error. Let's look at sentence 4. It says, if someone took away all of your senses, sight, touch, hearing, smell, taste, what do you think life would be like? In this sentence, we're going to add parentheses or dashes. They act the same in this use. We're also going to add commas, and we need to fix our end punctuation. So first, let's add our parentheses or dashes. So now in this sentence, I'm talking about our senses. However, I wanted to clarify what I meant by senses, and so I add extra information. That extra information is sight, touch, hearing, smell, taste. So I'm going to put those items inside my parentheses. That's like saying, when I say senses, this is what I mean by that. You also could use dashes here as well. They serve the same purpose. Next, I need to add my commas. My commas are actually going to go in between each item that I've listed in my parentheses. And lastly, I need to fix my end punctuation. Right now, I have used a period. However, I know that I've asked a question, so I'm going to replace this period with a question mark. And that would fix my sentence 4. And lastly, sentence 5. It says, the Minoan civilization, which lasted for 2,000 years on the island of Crete, developed a rich and prosperous culture beginning around 6000 BCE. In this sentence, I have a non-restrictive phrase. I also need to fix abbreviation. I'll add another comma, and I have to fix a spelling error as well. So first, let's find our non-restrictive phrase. Again, non-restrictive phrase is just a fancy way of saying that there's extra information added to our sentence. So our sentence is about this Minoan civilization. As you can see though, I've added a phrase after the Minoan civilization that adds extra information. So I need to add a comma after civilization and a comma after Crete. That lets my readers know that I have a non-restrictive phrase. This phrase in between my commas just adds extra information. I also need to fix an abbreviation. To do so, I just need to make sure that I add punctuation in between each letter of the abbreviation. So I'm going to add a period here and a period here. I have one other type of comma to add, and that comma belongs in my numbers. Okay, so the comma goes after 2 before the 0. Now I want to point out to you that we do not need a comma in this number here because this number indicates a date. We don't use commas in dates for years. And then the last error I need to fix is my spelling error. As we can see, civilization has been spelled incorrectly, so I'm going to replace it with the correct spelling. If you have any questions about how or why we've corrected the sentence the way we have, don't hesitate to reach out. Thanks for watching, everyone.